I'm going to start this story with a warning. It involves attempted suicide and the murder of kids. So if that is understandably too much for you, please don't watch this. I know some people are going to be upset with me that I cleaned one of these headstones, but when I learned of their story, it was May, which was Mental Health Awareness Month. And when I told my buddy Cindy about it, who works in that field, she said, I find it funny that sometimes people say they wish we could return to simpler times, when they don't realize how awful it sometimes was without medical advances, CPS, and the mental health treatments we have today. I like to believe that if this person had gotten the help they so obviously needed, that none of this would have happened, but that wasn't an option for them. For that reason, I still think it's an important story to share. So here goes. Mary Ward and her husband Lot were born and raised in Lincolnshire, England. In 1851, after having 2 children, Lot decided the family should move to the United States. Mary made it very clear she did not want to go, but reluctantly went. They had 3 more children for a total of 5 after they settled on the south shore of Oneida Lake in central New York. During the 5 years they had been in this country, Mary suffered terribly from depression, even attempting suicide 3 times, first by drowning, then by hanging, and lastly by taking a pocket knife to her neck. She begged her husband Lot for them to return to England, but he refused. On Sunday morning, March 23, 1856, Lot decided to go ice fishing just off the back of the house on the lake. Their oldest child was playing in the yard, and the 4 youngest were in the house with Mary. She had reached her lowest state of depression. Mary found an axe and went into the bedroom and killed her youngest child, 2-month-old William, on the bed. She then walked into the hallway and killed 3-year-old Elizabeth, who they called Anna, and 2-year-old Jeanette, who they called Nettie, who were playing on the floor. 6-year-old Emma, obviously terrified, was hiding under the bed. Mary dragged her out and hit her with the axe as well. As Mary chased after the oldest, 8-year-old Charles, across the yard, Emma was able to crawl to the doorway near her sister Anna, where she died too. There was a crust of ice on the snow in the yard, and Charles was light enough to stay above it to outrun his mother as she broke through to deep snow. He made it to their neighbor's house as Mary turned around. When the neighbor arrived, seeing the 3 girls' bodies in the doorway, Mary was standing beside the bloody axe with a razor across her neck. As he stopped her from cutting any further, he tried to ask her what she had done, and all she could do was beg for him to kill her. He got her onto the bed in hopes of calming her down and then saw the baby. The newspapers had listed her husband, Lot Ward, as dissipated, implying that he was often drunk, abusive, and had abandoned the family. But 2 weeks later, they retracted that statement when neighbors said he was actually a good provider and hadn't been drunk more than 3 times that year. At the hearing, Mary had confessed to the murders and said her only regret was not destroying all of her children and herself. Instead of a trial and being sent to prison as we would expect, Mary is sent somewhere else instead. What's almost just as unbelievable is what happens next, but I'll have to do a part 2.